Before watching this video, please subscribe to this channel to continue receiving our interesting and exciting stories every day. The sun was slow to rise over the village of Bale, its hesitant rays stretching cautiously across the dusty earth, as if unwilling to witness the chaos to come. The church bell rang through the crisp morning air, a sharp contrast to the quiet murmur of the nearby forest. It was Sunday, sacred, silent, and swollen with expectation. Pastor Daniel Mungazi stood at the pulpit of glory of Zion Ministries, his voice commanding, his eyes fiery with conviction. Every word he uttered dripped with the authority of heaven. The villagers saw him as a holy man, a bridge between the mortal and the divine. To his followers, he was unshakable, a fortress of faith and a shepherd with an iron staff. But even fortresses can crumble, and even shepherds can fall. Chapter 1. The revered one for 10 years, Pastor Daniel had preached in Bale. His sermons were legendary, filled with fire, spirit, and drama. He condemned sin like a prophet of old and prayed with the passion of the redeemed. Women knelt before him asking for blessings. Men held his hands as if touching him would cleanse them of all impurity. He lived modestly in a house next to the church, and villagers spoke of his humility as much as they did of his power. But despite his spiritual stature, one thing had always eluded him: marriage. Rumors swirled. Some said the pastor was too devoted to God. Others whispered that he was simply waiting for a sign. Then came her, Naomi. She arrived from Kampala, tall, elegant, soft-spoken. Her presence was gentle, yet commanding. The congregation fell in love with her immediately. She sang like an angel and served like a queen. Within months, Pastor Daniel announced their courtship. A woman of virtue, he told his flock, sent by God himself. The wedding was the event of the decade. Guests came from neighboring villages. Gospel choirs sang into the night, and the congregation wept with joy as Pastor Daniel kissed his bride. A new era had begun, but not all blessings come from above. Chapter 2. The cold within the honeymoon was short. Though Naomi was everything Daniel had dreamed of in public, respectful, submissive, beautiful, there was a coldness he could not explain. She flinched when he touched her. She bathed alone. Nights were filled with awkward silences and prayers that felt unanswered. Some women take time to warm up, his mother told him over the phone. Give her grace. He tried. He bought her flowers, recited verses of love, and even fasted for intimacy. Still, the coldness lingered. And then, strange things began to happen. He once walked into their bedroom and found her voice deeper than usual, rehearsing lines in front of the mirror. Her phone would ring at odd hours, and she'd retreat to the bathroom to take the calls. Packages arrived addressed, not to Naomi, but to Noah. Curiosity became suspicion. One night, Daniel pretended to fall asleep early. He watched as Naomi crept from the bed and opened a wooden chest at the foot. Inside were clothes that no village woman would wear, boxers, a binder, and a passport. He saw the name before she could close it. Noah Mutebai. His hands trembled. His breath caught in his throat. The room felt smaller, like the air had thickened. Was this a joke? A hallucination? No. The truth stared back at him like a demon in the dark. His wife was a man. Chapter 3. The revelation for days. Daniel wandered through his duties in a daze. He preached about deception, about the enemy within, about wolves in sheep's clothing. The congregation felt the fire in his voice, but didn't know its source. The betrayal burned him from the inside out. He confronted her, or rather him, that night. I know, he said, voice calm but shaking. Naomi, or Noah, froze. There were no tears, no pleas for forgiveness, just a long silence. Then came the confession. I didn't do it to hurt you, Noah said. I did it to survive. I grew up knowing I was different, and this country, this continent, doesn't forgive difference. You lied to me. Daniel spat, veins bulging, heart racing. You lied to God. Noah bowed his head. I loved you in the only way I knew how. But love had long since drowned in the flood of betrayal. Chapter 4. The storm. Daniel retreated in a prayer, hoping God would give him guidance. But every verse he opened seemed to point toward wrath, judgment, and purification. He began to feel that it was not just personal betrayal. It was spiritual warfare. This was not just a lie. It was a demon sent to defile his ministry. He stopped touching food. He stopped speaking to Noah. He would look at him as though he were a curse, a blight sent from the underworld. Then one night he snapped. There was thunder in the distance. Rain hammered the roof of their home as if trying to break it down. Daniel stood in the kitchen, knife in hand. He had just read Judges 15, where Samson destroyed the Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. The Lord gave them into his hand, Daniel whispered. Noah was asleep, or pretending to be, on the couch. Daniel approached slowly, blade gleaming in the candlelight. His heart pounded, but his mind was clear. This was not murder, he told himself. It was cleansing. It was justice. One swift movement, one muffled gasp, then silence. Chapter 5. The aftermath. The village awoke to horror. The church was locked. The house was empty. Naomi's body was found buried shallowly near the mango trees behind the church compound. A trail of blood led to the altar, where Daniel had left his final message, scrawled on the pulpit in red ink. Better to cut off what deceives you than to enter hell with both hands. He vanished after that. Some say he fled to South Sudan. Others claim he joined a radical sect in the mountains. But most believe he went mad and died alone, eaten by his own guilt. The church was closed. The bell never rang again. Conclusion. Shadows and ashes years later. Glory of Zion remains a haunted monument to the danger of secrets and the fragility of faith. Some villagers whisper that they hear Naomi's voice in the wind, singing hymns no one taught her. Others say Daniel's shadow still roams the altar, looking for absolution he'll never find. Truth, in its most unfiltered form, has the power to liberate, but it can also destroy. In the heart of Baal, two people sought love through lies, and neither lived to tell the tale. The pulpit remains, covered in dust, a grim reminder that even holy ground can be soaked in blood.